What's up, everybody? Coach Nathan Barbosa here, PhysioFix Training Systems, going over some wrist and elbow mobility today. I'm here in the Lifetime Fitness yoga studio where it's nice and warm. I've already done a bunch of warm-ups here, so we're gonna go ahead and get right into it, and I'm gonna teach you guys how to make some shit work nice. So, first thing I want to start with, this is going to be a little bit for the elbow and a little bit for the shoulder and the wrist, pretty much the whole arm. What we're going to do is we're just going to kind of rotate, doing a little axial rotation here of really the whole arm. The elbow is going to be nice and locked, and we're going to try to pivot at the wrists and into the shoulder joint. So for this one, you can be in a full tabletop position and be up nice and tall. For this video, I'm going to sit back like so I can get a little bit more push into the ground. I'm trying to work on a little bit of scapular stuff, so this kind of helps me focus on that a little bit. But you can do this in any format you want. So we're gonna have the fingers nice and open. We're actually gonna curl the fingers a little bit into the ground and really help activate as much tissue as possible. We're gonna make sure everything's nice and straight, nice and locked. We're gonna protract the scapulas and push into the ground and push yourself away. And then from here, we're gonna do very strong and slow rotations, turning as much as we can and holding the in-range positions for a couple of seconds, trying to get as much movement as possible. We're fighting the invisible barriers here. So what I mean by that is when you rotate, once you hit the barrier where you can't turn any farther, your job is to try to turn farther. So grab the ground a little bit harder, push into the ground a little bit more, really flex those arms, really try to rotate. If you look close, you can tell that I'm shaking here, because we got to put in the work, and it's work. We're not messing around here. And we'll just go back and forth. Try to watch yourself and make sure you're as even as possible. I have a tendency to hike shoulders. All right, from here, we're going to go in to the wrist. So first thing we want to do here is we're actually going to turn the hand over, hands nice and flat, and then we're just going to gently shift our weight backwards. It's going to be a pretty big forearm stretch here on all these forearm flexor muscles. Go easy here for this stretch. A lot of the time it starts off feeling kind of nice, and as the tissue starts to relax, it can get pretty sharp into the elbow and possibly into the wrist and shoulder, depending on what you have going on. So just go easy. So we've been here for a minute holding the stretch. Now we're going to go into a PAILs contraction. So we're going to stay at the deepest point of the stretch that we're in right now, and then we're going to press our palms and fingers into the ground as if we were going to do this, but with this hand. So we'll play like we're going to push ourselves away. We're just going to push into the ground, use all the fingers, use the thumb, use the palm, flex everything in the front of this arm. Keep trying to ramp up your effort. And then from here, we're going to try to actually lift our fingers off the ground. So we're going to play like we're going to try to do this with this hand. And it's not going to do anything, but that's the goal. Okay? Let's get it. Flex into those fingers, flex that hand. You should be feeling sensations on the back side of the arm or the top of the forearm technically. And we're just going to keep working that. Good, strong effort here. We're irradiating through the whole body. The core is strong, the arms are strong, the legs are strong, everything's working together. And we'll relax. Take a couple breaths, relax the body, sit back into the stretch slightly more. You should open up just a little bit more space in that wrist. And then from there, we're going to gently push ourselves, or ease ourselves out of it. We're going to just kind of slowly turn this around. Your arm is going to feel pretty limp after that. Mine always does. And then from here, we're going to go through some wrist cars. to really solidify this. So I like to get in a combat position like so, put my forearm on top of my other thigh and block with the other arm, and then we're gonna go through our wrist cars. So we're gonna drive down into extension, medial flexion into full flexion, into lateral flexion, and down. And we're just gonna draw a big freaking circle. Nice and strong. We're trying to ingrain into the brain to use the space we just created. So I'm using my fingers here as I come around to help pull myself into the position that I was just in. And this is not easy because you're trying to just gently guide the hand to get down there, but you're making this tissue do all the work. So we're gonna push it back, come in. A little touch here, give it some love. And relax. All right, that's one side. Now we do the same thing on the other side. All right, so we're gonna flip the arm around, same thing. We're gonna sit back into this a little bit, get a nice deep stretch going through the tissue here on the forearm. And we're just gonna hold it. Big deep breaths while you're here. And when I mean big deep breaths, I mean big deep diaphragm breaths. Stomach breathing, make the diaphragm expand as much as possible and get rid of all that air comfortably and gently and deeply. We don't want big chest breathing. I don't want you. That doesn't calm you down. That stimulates your central nervous system and causes you to go into more of a sympathetic state. There's no reason for that. We want to relax. We want parasympathetic activation. We want to be chill. We want a deep, easy breath and a long, easy exhale. Every inhale, I want you to feel like you're almost trying to swell the tissue in the arm. And every exhale, I want you to feel like you're trying to let it stretch even more. It's kind of playing with a technique called isometric ramping while utilizing the stretch. I find it helps me control tension where I don't want it and kind of put it where I do want it. It also just lets me get a better stretch. All right, so from here we're gonna go into our PAILs activation again. So remember, our hand is like this, turn around. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to push into the ground with this hand. So we're all stretched. Start with the fingertips, work your way into the palm and start gently pushing down. And as you begin to feel everything in the front of the arm start to activate, we're gonna start pushing a little bit more. We're gonna slowly ramp up the intensity here until we can get a really nice, strong flex in these forearm flexor muscles. And now before we switch, remember, now we're gonna try to lift the hand up. So if we're here, we're gonna try to do this here, even though it's not gonna happen. All right, so 3, 2, 1, change directions, try to pick that hand up. The best way to feel this is to think about pulling the knuckles of your hand into the top of your wrist. And just keep trying to pull the knuckles up like you're trying to just do this, like you're just trying to flex like that as hard as you can. Just keep trying, keep pulling. We're ramping up intensity here. We're really trying to make as much stuff activate as possible. If you get it right, you're gonna feel your arm possibly extend a little bit more forward, and you'll feel some stuff activate all the way up and maybe even into the tricep. And then we're gonna relax. Take a couple deep breaths, settle into this new range of motion that we've created and stretched into and opened up. And then we're gonna gently move forward. Come out of this easy. Your hand's gonna feel like a big pile of mush. And then we will go into the combat stretch, combat position on the other side. You don't have to be in this position. You can just sit. I just like to use my thigh. I'm gonna block the forearm so only the wrist moves, and then we will go through the same controlled articular rotation that we did on the other side. If you're wearing a watch like me, pull it out of the way because it will get in the way. This is a very strong rotation. We're trying to take the hand and wrist as far as we can in all directions. And if you feel like you miss a spot, go slow, reset, kind of push yourself into the angles you want to get deeper into. Try to really connect to your body. We're trying to feel as much as possible. Going for anywhere between 2 and 5 repetitions in each direction. I kind of rotate back and forth as I do this. If I feel a position that feels extra weak or extra disconnected, for example, going into extension of the wrist, like so, I will just kind of scrub this position back and forth as much as I can to really try to connect to it. You'll definitely get some burning sensations. The muscle's gonna be on fire. And then we'll just kind of move through, kind of hit this flexed position, try to scrub that out too. So that's a little wrist love for you guys. Give it a shot, see how it goes. You can go through this entire video for 2 to 3 full rounds on each side. If you're somebody who, really all my barbell people, my CrossFitters, Olympic lifters, guys, your wrists need love. Your wrists need lots of love, especially my desk people too. Y'all really need to put some love into your wrist. Carpal tunnel is fucking real, and that shit sucks. I have clients who have it. I have clients who've had surgery for it. It's brutal. It robs your hands. It makes shit really hard. And this is some easy stuff that you can do every day to help prevent something small turning into something really big. So follow this along, see how it goes. Make shit work nice. Do whatever you want with it. It's Coach Nathan Barbosa. Thanks for watching, guys. Y'all have a good one.